Meat bags, welcome back. Got another project going on. Yeah, what's this thing, right? See my breath? Isn't that crazy? I'm gonna stand like this with my hands behind me because the heater's behind me and they're a little cold. My fingies are cold. But this is a ROSS EUROTOUR. I believe it is a late 70s, early 80s model. It has a tempered lug frame, so it's pretty heavy. It's a coaster brake with a 3-speed hub. It is the 26 by 1 3/8 inch wheels, which is confusing to a lot of people who are just getting into bicycles because it is. There we go. That's a little better. Because there's a 26-inch wheel, like my Specialized, hanging over there, or a few of these bikes behind it, and they're not the same. They don't work. They're not interchangeable. And I've had a lot of people over the years in my time in bike shops and stuff be like, oh, I got these tires and they're wrong. I got 26 and they don't fit, and it's like, oh, that's why. And what's even worse is that there's like another version, 26 by like 1 1/8, I believe, which is a little bit even like a little different. So yeah. Anyway, these are 26 by 1 3/8, and it's really kind of a neat bike. The front hub is Ross branded hub. It's a little loose here, but it's got a Shimano tourney front brake, which is really neat. Aluminum lever and a nice aluminum caliper. It's pretty cool little brake. I'll get a close up of it here in a little bit. But so anyway, the reason why I got this, oh right, yeah, 3-speed shifter over here. Reason why I got this bike is because it had some really cool handlebars on it, and it had some really nice chrome fenders, and so I got it for a really good price. So I got the fenders and the handlebars, and I just really like this color. And I think the frame's kind of neat with the lugs and the fork and everything. And so I didn't want to just like tear it down and sell it for parts. I kind of wanted to turn it into something. And having just done the cheap bike build off, I wanted to kind of build another cheap bike and, hopefully be able to sell this for, $100 or less. I'd like to say $75 or less, which would be really cool. So let's get to rearranging this thing. Definitely gonna take the seat off. This is a nice messenger Springer saddle, so I'll probably keep this too. Most people think they're ugly, but they're super comfortable, and people who know what they are really like them. So shifter in the spoke up there sounding like a spokey doke. Oh, that's not loose enough, really? Wow. I figured it would be. Okay. My bad. Oh, I'm turning the seat post as well. Holy cow. Okay, well, maybe we can get a little tighten action on there. I am really loose on here, so there we go. Whew, that thing was on there. But yeah, so this is a messenger saddle. Um, they're pretty neat because they got this like all metal frame. If you want to build a rat rod and have this really cool like rat rod looking bike, you can peel this messenger cover off, and you get this nice metal pan on the bottom side there. So into the seat bin. We got this pretty standard. It's a nice seat. It's fairly new. Little mud puddle splatter on the bottom, but it's a pretty nice seat. I'm gonna stick that on there, and this actually seems to be more appealing to the consumer anyway. Most people see those Springer saddles and they go, "Oh, that's an old person bike," or that bike's not going to be able to do what I want it to do. It's like, no, it's a great seat, but I'll make this more appealing for you. Really, I'm just going to kind of tighten this up a little bit. We'll set saddle angles and stuff like that when we're done. So I took the fenders off, so I had to take the rear wheel off. So I have to reattach the coaster brake and the 3-speed hub. So we'll do that in a second. I'm also going to put a rear rack on here, which should be fun. These are like these weird sheet metal screws. So actually have them right here. Some crazy threads on there. Definitely not your standard Allen bolt of today. All right. So I had to undo the 3-speed hub here to get the wheel off, and obviously undo the coaster brake. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the wheel a little bit so we can get some tension on the chain and set that. I'm going to decide against that. I'm going to take the wheel off. I'm going to take the wheel off. I'm going to take the chain guard off. And then I'm going to take the crank out so I can do a little bit of some bearing maintenance to the bottom bracket. So let's do that. Take the wheel off. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm going to set all this up. And then I'm going to want to do the bottom bracket service. I'm going to have to loosen the chain and everything again. Oh, yeah, I'm going to need a wrench for that one. just punched the chainstay there. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. This funky little bolt down here. It's holding this on. There we go. That is quite a large sprocket. It's really cool too. It's like a star with all the pentagons. Kind of neat. This is a burly chain. It's probably got like, I bet you this chain's got 50 miles on it, maybe. All right. Well, let's get the pedal off. Ooh. There we go. I don't want it to go flopping on the ground, even though we're going to replace it with some really cool pedals. Oh. So I can hold it, right? And then it won't go dropping on the ground. Whoa. That was close. I got my thumb a little bit, but could have been a lot worse. Oh man. It was a big lock ring washer. Crazy. Whenever you're taking out a one-piece crank, this bearing always has to get popped out of this side. Otherwise, it won't come through. Just won't. That bearing out. Oh, those things are stuck in there. Those are some gross bearings. We're gonna get these all cleaned up. You guys don't need to see that. You know what it looks like cleaning up bearings. Then we'll get right back to putting them on the bike. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. There we go. I cleaned out the cups with a wire drill. With a wire wheel on my drill. It came out really nice. Now we're gonna put some green monster in there. I suppose at some point I should get one of those little mini grease guns, They're pretty cool. I just don't know what model to get. Put a little grease on there. Whatever extra grease we got on there will come out. Put one of these guys on there. Whoop. Ta-da. No, it's not going to stay in there though, right? That's the thing. Stay, just for a second. All right. Little green monster action on this side. Oh. Smush those in there like that, right? Then I'm gonna drop my grease. Put that up there. That started. Some grease going on right in there. Get her all greased up. I'm going to even put a little bit extra in there. I didn't get this side as good as I got the other side because the crank was already through. Stick some extra grease in here like this. Because there's a big washer that covers all of this. And keep a lot of that grease right in there. Like that. Look at that, huh? Those of you out there going, he's spinning it the wrong way. Left side of the bike, so that is left-handed thread. Here we go. That's going to work a little bit better. Ooh, there we go. I don't like that. That's a little too tight. A little too tight. So what you do is you loosen this up here. Loosen this up here. We're going to pull this out a little. We're going to loosen this up some. Like that. We are adjusting the preload. There we go. Nice and tight there. I like that. I do like that. No play. Nice and greased, nice and smooth. All right. I'm not going to put the pedal back on because I got some cool pedals to put on this. While we're at it, we might as well just take this pedal off of this side. Let's see. No. These pedals are retro and they're cool. Like, don't get me wrong, right? They have a very cool look, and there's a very specific style of bike that they would go on, but they are very terrible when it comes to traction. If it's wet out or anything like that, your feet slip right off these, and on a coaster brake bike, that's not what you want. Get this chain kind of like back on here so I can put the chain guard back on. Because I think the chain guard's pretty cool. And not only that, it's going to, oh, hi everybody. It's going to really help with keeping your pant leg not greasy. So that's cool, right? Started there. Back here. Should be able to use a flathead on them now. Go. Kind of checking to see if it rubbed on the inside. I think we're good. Chain's a little rusty, but I think it just needs some lubrication. And of course, This is a 3-speed hub, so it's going to have like axle lockers in it, indicating that, this is where the axle should be for maximum efficiency. Looks like my little axle guy is getting smushed. So that's not working out the way it's planned, huh? There we go. I think there's a little axle clip in there, and like try and get the camera in there so you can see what I'm talking about, but it's probably not going to matter. Right. Make sure you set your poster brake in the right spot before you go tightening down the other side here, because that can always lead to a pain in the butt. Very nice. All right, so we got to hook up the brake. Hi, I'm your host, Babe, the Big Blue Ox. I didn't service the rear hub because it is really nice. There's no play. The bearings spin super smooth, so we just really left it alone. It was good. But I knew that the bottom bracket would need some love, so we did that. Okay, 15 millimeter in my hand. Beautiful. This is gonna be a sweet pub bike. Gosh darn dang it. All right. Now, you want to undo that. You want to pull this here. Pardon me. The shifter's up here. Unfortunately, it's a little broken, but it's going to work. All right. There. What we want to do is we want to start these at the same time. So they both there we go. And so now we can get tension in here. And so what we're going to do is, let's see if I can't put this in second gear. This is how I can do this here. put this in second. Well, there's not a lot of tension there. That's for sure. That's all right. We're going to make all this work great. All right, cool. See if we can do this. Okay, so focus down in there. Make it happen. Can we do this? Can we get the light closer? All right, so down in there is a little red N for neutral. Why it's for neutral, I don't know, but that's second gear. So what you want to do is you want to line it up. See that red line? Boom. That's where you want to line it up, and that is going to make the shifter and everything work perfectly. So that's how you do that. With your tension rod here, put it in second gear, which is neutral, and line it up. Now this 3-speed will work great. And remember, with a 3-speed hub, you stop pedaling and then you shift. Okay, so almost a bike again. Just gotta get some handlebars on it. But we're not gonna use this stem. I've got a different one. This one's kind of cool. It's a cast aluminum stem. Going to the parts bin, but got a different one for it. We're gonna use this black stem right here. A little bit longer, but I've got some riser bars that I'm gonna put on it. This is really gonna complete this build. I don't know why I'm using such a small wrench to do this. I need a little more leverage, a little more oomph. Oh my lord, yeah, I wasn't doing that with that little, the little adjustable, that's for sure. Holy cow. Ooh. Wow. That was on there. That was on there. Cool. With this funky reflector bracket on there, huh? That's something else. Sure. Uh-oh. This is too big. Are we stuck using the we might be stuck using that. This is a 22.2. Okay, so change of plan. We're going to be using the aluminum stem because this is a 21 millimeter quill stem, which is interesting. I don't have one of those. It's always fun working on old bikes because this must be like an old road bike standard. Because, yeah, like I said, I don't have one. So that's all right. We want to pull this apart and kind of see how the bearings are looking in there anyway. So let's do that. We're going to sell this. We want to make sure everything has been gone through. And that when somebody's like, what's the condition of everything? You can be like, it's good. And you're not lying. With no handlebars on it yet, I can drop this right down. I figured as much. They're about as brown as the bottom bracket ones were. So we're gonna get those cleaned up too. Oh yeah. Those are pretty bad. I mean, they're not terrible. They're still spin. They work. They're not dented or broken or anything like I've seen. Just some um, goopy grease on there. Old goopy grease. So let's get that off there. These came out a lot better. And you guessed it, your boy forgot to turn on his microphone again. I felt awesome about that. And then I watched a Burn Peak video the other day and saw that Seth did the same thing. So I guess I don't feel so bad. Anyway, I showed you guys the nice, clean, shiny bearings there. Ooh, yeah, look at that fork. We're going to put some grease on that ground race. Some of that green monster. Make sure you put your bearing on this way. Probably what I said. Put some more grease on the top cap there. Bearing in. And we're going to set the preload. Am I really making fun of myself right now? I'm totally making fun of myself right now. Anyway, this segment is 40 minutes long. So I didn't want to like just trash it because I had a lot of build stuff in this video, as you can see. Setting the preload on the bearing here, shaking that fork, seeing if there's any loose play in there. I think it's good enough for bar spins. I hate voiceovers, by the way, just in case you guys are wondering. It is not what I wanted to do. But telling you guys now that you should grease your aluminum stems because it's going into a steel fork, and the aluminum and the steel can create a weather chemical bond, basically weather welding it in there. And when you want to get it out of there, it's not going to be fun. Okay, long story short on these handlebars, they didn't want to fit. So I had to do some extra work. And I'm kind of stubborn, so I try here for a little bit. But while I'm trying, let's talk about the fact that I won the mechanic's choice on the cheap bike build off. How cool is that? I watched myself get voted out, which it was disappointing, but it wasn't at the same time because I built this awesome bike that I'm going to ride a lot. I mean, look at me struggle with those bars. Give up already, dude. Oh, okay. Here's where I figure it out. There's actually a line in there from the casting that is making it super difficult, but this drill fixes that really quick. But yeah, mechanic's choice out of nowhere. Max, the mullet mechanic, was all like, "Mechanic's choice, new this year, the cycling Viking," and it blew me away. I was super uh, thankful that they noticed how much work went into the build. There we go. Handlebars are all better now. But yeah, so huge shout out to Max, the mullet mechanic, for awarding me the mechanic's choice and the cheap bike build off for my trek with the cargo fork that I built there. It means a lot. So thanks, my dude. And I can't wait until next year. And thank you guys for tuning in. You guys tuned in a lot on those videos. Oh yeah. So this lever is a older tourney lever, and they have Shimano like embossed all over it. And I was just basically kind of showing you guys like they don't do this anymore. It's old, but it's fancy. I mean, the new levers are all stickers and stuff now. I mean, Paul and a couple of companies like that still like to engrave their logos into their parts, but most of the stuff now is either a decal that's painted on, powder coated on, laminated on, screen printed on. The grips are a little sticky, and I'm like kind of disappointed here. So I try to wipe them down a little bit, but I don't think the alcohol was doing it any justice. And I'm talking about how like sometimes if you wash them with soapy water, uh, that stickiness will go away. You like wash them and just let them air dry, and that stickiness goes away. Um, so I do that later on here in the video. Right now, I'm replacing the Phillips screws in the brake lever and the shifter with some 4 millimeter Allen screws because the Phillips screw heads tend to strip out under pressure, and that's never fun.
and the Allen heads are like a little more accessible, I would say. It's a lot easier to tighten and loosen those with the 4 millimeter Allen in there. Sorry about that pause. I don't know what that was about. Like I said, voiceovers are not fun. I mean, I guess I could go back and edit it out, but hey, with all this time to fill, why would I do that? If you guys have made it this far, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching this build. I did not plan on it taking this long, but it did. Oh yeah, here we go. The creme de la creme. I found these really awesome purple anodized Power Bite pedals at my local bike shop. Shout out to Norm's Ski and Bike. They had these on the shelf. They're from the 90's, easy, and they're a half-inch spindle, so they fit this one-piece crank, and they really just make this build pop. Those purple pedals with the purple grips, like I didn't plan on it all coming together as good as it did, but I guess I'm just good at what I do. Here you can see me trying to figure out which way do I turn the pedal. And on a bike without a coaster brake, you can just pedal the pedals backwards and hold your pedal wrench, and your pedals will tighten up. But this bike has a coaster brake, so you can't pedal it backwards. So you got to do it all by hand. I mean, I guess you're doing it all by hand anyway. Anyway, let's get to putting this rack on. You can see me threading the bolts into the rack legs here because they're these big American sheet metal style bolts. Because Ross was an American bicycle company, so there's a lot of standard bolts on this bike. But this rack was probably the easiest rack to install. Um, there was 4 bolts to tighten up, and that was that. And then, of course, now you can haul a little wine bottle on it and all the good stuff. It's a cute little rack. It fits the bike just perfectly. But anyway, that's enough for this voiceover stuff. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled yeah, see, I can't even talk. Let's get back to it.
Well, one thing led to another, and I definitely straightened out the valve stems. But I got caught up in a whole mess of other stuff. I washed the grips, added a little bag on the front because it just fit. It's blue and purple and white, like it was meant to be. I have this little headlight that has been kicking around my toolbox for I don't even know how long, that I never use. It's rechargeable, so that should be good for whoever gets this. And I think this is going to be a great bike. I just built it to be kind of like a pub cruiser, but I think it's going to be more of a commuter, a grocery getter with the rack. Um, a get to class bike, get around town bike, 3 speed, reliable coaster brake, front brake for that extra security, and then it's just a cool bike in itself. So, what do you say we take it down and stare at it a little bit? I'm still staring. It's always my favorite part. Thanks for staring at the bike with me. Thanks for hanging out with me and building it today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Still waiting on parts for the dang Specialized to keep doing my brake, my disc brake conversion. So we're coming up with things to keep you guys entertained. Um, so like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm gonna try and post this on the marketplace for $75, and hopefully somebody will buy it. It should be cool. Catch you guys next time.